Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, visiting Parkway Hyundai, and I'm checking out a 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz all-wheel drive in the SEL Premium trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 245/60 Kumho tires wrapped around 18-inch alloy wheels with a matte black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Phantom Black. And it does have a metal flake in it. And it has a little bit of different colors sparkling in there. Very faint, but overall it's just a normal gloss black, looking really nice. So here in the front, very interesting design. Very similar to other Hyundai products. There is a lot of silver here in the grille, and pretty good size grille and very prominent looking. And integrated in the grille are these accent lighting, and the accent lights also serve as a daytime running light. They're actually fairly bright, so you can actually see them during the day or at night. They do dim down quite a bit when you turn the headlights on. But a lot of silver there in the center, just kind of giving it a very bold and strong look in the middle. Now all the exterior lights here in the front are LED. The turn signals, the daytime running lights, and the headlights. High and low beams are in a quad projector. The upper portion is the low beams. There's two in the top and two in the bottom, and the lower portion is the high beams. Looking at the profile kind of reveals a sporty looking small truck appearance. And I like the wheels. They really go well with this gloss black exterior color. Now that flat black that we saw in the front extends around each wheel well and continues around the base of the vehicle as well. And there's also a little bit of integration, a little design right in here in the wheel wells, which is nice. And check out this line. So you have this line there here on the side of the vehicle, and then it splits in two. So it kind of has this like smooth look, and then it has this hard crease there in the side of the vehicle. Also the tapering of the rear glass. So right in here, kind of tapers up and looking pretty cool. Now the pillar for the glass is a flat black. So right in here is a flat black, and it does have the privacy glass on this trim in the back windows. So if you were to tint the front windows to kind of solidify all this, and of course since this is a black vehicle, then it'll solidify the entire vehicle basically. The handles are body colored. The upper portion of the side mirrors are also body colored. This is what the key looks like, and it's a really nice sleek design key. It feels really solid. There's a physical key on the inside in case you need it, but generally this is a full proximity key, so you could just keep it in your pocket. You can use the vehicle 100%. It does have the ability to lock, unlock, lower the tailgate, has a panic button and a remote start button as well. Let's go ahead and push that panic button and sound the horn. All right, so it has a pretty strong horn. And lowering the tailgate, it has a soft landing. So when you lower the tailgate, it just kind of lowers slowly. Now that lowers it, there's no raising it. And remote start, of course, you push the lock button and then you press and hold the remote start button, it'll start it up. But generally, if you just keep the key in your pocket, it could be in your pocket, in a bag, whatever, as long as it's close with you and close to the outside of the door, you can lock the doors by placing your finger or your hand over this little sensor indicated by a very faint dimple right here, and that will lock the doors. So just put your hand over that and it senses the key, it senses your hand position and locks the doors. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle. Right in here, there's a sensor in here. It senses the key on the outside of the door and allows you access to the vehicle. Now there is a physical key location behind this cover right here. You will need to slide that off in order to access the physical key to enter the vehicle. Now the doors go all the way down to the bottom of the vehicle right in here. So as I open it up, you'll see that there's a seal there, and this helps out with keeping this threshold area relatively clean. So when you're entering and exiting the vehicle, hopefully you won't get your clothes dirty. So right in here stays relatively clean because of that door going all the way down to that seal at the bottom of the vehicle. Here's the inside of the passenger side door, mostly black. It does have a little accent here at the top and a metallic handle. The soft touch surfaces are very few. So basically right here, that's it. So this is soft touch and it bottoms out quickly. So it's not super soft. The rest of the door is all hard touch. Now this is enclosed. You can use that as a pocket or a handle. And also you have a large pocket there at the bottom. And this is kind of dished out. So that way it kind of gives you a little bit more legroom area. Now there is a speaker here in the pillar and a larger speaker down here as well. Now it appears to be an amplifier or something visible under the seat. It'd be nice if they made that less visible because it kind of stands out when you open up the door. Manually adjusted cloth seat here on the passenger side. It has an interesting design. And this is the gray interior. Pretty good amount of legroom here. It does have the like a regular carpet mat in place. It does have one place that it hooks in. It's contoured up. I was surprised at the amount of room this vehicle has, and it's also kind of contoured away from you. So things are kind of contoured away from you, so it feels like you got a little bit more room than you actually do. It's just really comfortable and sitting in this vehicle, and just, you know, it's a positive experience. So the glove compartment is smooth plastic there on the inside. And this is all hard touch surfaces here, here. And then the dash is kind of like a, not super hard touch, but it's kind of like a rubbery soft. And then the vents are kind of contoured in this area right here, kind of in this design of the vehicle, which is neat. Kind of gives it an additional tier to the dash. So you can see the difference between the front door. So the front door has a pretty good wide opening here. The swing of the door is good. The door opening is really good. There's plenty of headroom. There's no problem for me getting in and out. It's just a really just wide open space basically. And the back door does have some tapering here, but it's actually not bad. I mean, the only limiting factor is kind of like the legroom there and the door. So it's not as big as the front, but it's still not bad at all. I was very surprised at how much room they were able to kind of cram into a smaller vehicle like this, and the bed and everything. So the inside of the back door, similar styling as the front, all hard touch surfaces, including your armrest. So you can keep that in mind. It's not a huge deal. I mean, the soft armrest in the front is not that soft anyway. But it does have a nice cup holder here in the more forward position, which is cool. So the back seat is basically a flat, no contour whatsoever, basically just a bench seat back here. And there is mat pockets on the back of both front seats. It does have the latch system, and the little hooks are right in here and here, so they're easy to get to. You can see them. There's no covers over them or anything like that. Now that driver's seat is all the way back, so you can see how limiting the legroom can be back here, but the passenger side is in more of a normal position here, so it's not so bad. Now there's no connectivity back here. There's no vents or anything, and there's a little bit of a hump there in the middle. But overall, the floor is quite a bit down from the seats, so it feels like you're sitting in a chair. So that's nice. So even though your leg room is limited in front of you, you don't really need a whole lot because your legs can go straight down. They don't have to push out in front of you. Now these seats can lift up, and when you lift them up, there's additional storage space in this compartment. Now there's some stuff in the other side that's already taken up some space. This is normally open. You can put whatever you want in there, and then your tools are on this side for, you know, changing your tire or whatever. Now, of course, you could reposition all this stuff if you wanted to. Take this plastic tub out and then use the under seat for a, you know, additional cargo or whatever. So when you flip up the seat, that would be more usable as far as interior cargo space if you were to take this out and reposition, like say the tools or whatever. Now the other seat flips up as well, so it's a 60-40 split. You can, you know, have one up or the other, so add to your cargo space or whatever when needed, and while still maintaining some passenger space. There is a center headrest that can be lifted up as well. These are adjustable back here. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, there is some roof rails up here. Also a body-colored shark fin antenna at the very top. The third brake light is at the top of the glass right here. It also has a cargo light on the underside of it. This is all LED right there. There is a sliding rear glass. And this one has the cover over the bed, which is very robust from what I understand. It's like a hard plastic, and the entire bed is a composite material, which is very durable. So it has a combination of LED and standard bulbs back here. So you have turn signals that are standard bulbs, and then you have the LED taillights. The backup camera is slightly offset, so it's right in here, integrated into the tailgate. It would be nice if it was more in the center, considering you could tow with this vehicle, and backing up to a trailer might be a little bit easier if it was in the center. And just overall, it would be nice to have it in the center, more symmetrical. So the bumper has a some texturing to it, and a similar texturing here on the wheel wells. You can see right there, just kind of looking pretty cool, and you have some of that going on here as well. But also the bumper has a step. So you have a step here, you have one on each side. You've seen that in other brands, having that step there. Now the exhaust is not super hidden, but it is over here on the right side, fairly well hidden. The reverse lights are right down here next to these reflectors. So you can of course use the key to lower the tailgate, which I showed you, or you can just push this button under here. Now the vehicle has to be unlocked, and then there's like an electronic button here, and then it just kind of softly comes down, which is nice. Now it also, and it's very light lifting it up. So, and it's a steel tailgate. So, see, I got my magnet on there. So it is a steel tailgate. I thought it was aluminum, how light it felt. I think it's just because it's assisted so much that it's real easy to lift up. So this cover, you can move it forward like so. And once you release it, you can go forward. But once you pull that handle forward, you can pull it and stop it at pretty much anywhere across the entire length. And then that way you can stop it halfway or all the way or wherever you want. So this has this kind of cargo bed extender thing going on. So you can flip this out like this and tie it down, of course. And then now you can have a little bit more to the bed, because the bed's not super big. So having the tailgate down kind of gives you you could put a bicycle or whatever back here a little bit better. Also, this cover, this hard cover, takes up a little bit of the bed space up here as well. So that's, you want to keep that in mind. if you're going to be utilizing as much space back here as possible, then you might not want to have that cover, and you know, possibly have one of these bed extenders here as well. Now this comes out. It's pretty light. You just kind of lift it up about halfway, and then just kind of unhook it from either side, and then you can just take it right on out. So it has to go up to about 45-degree angle. You lift it up, and I'm just doing it with one hand, and it's pretty light. All right, so now you can see the composite bed. And it does have some tie downs. It has fixed tie down locations all the way there in the front on the bottom. You can see there's one there and one on the right side. There's also a place right here, both in the back and the front, where you can put like a 2x6 across there or something. There and there, just in case you need a second tier to the bed. And there's also this adjustable cleat tie down as well. So you have one on the left and the right. You can change it in different positions and tie it down in different locations. On both sides also, there is a fixed tie down on the top and the bottom here. So quite a lot of different places to tie down things in the bed. There's also LED bed lights. So there's one there on the left side and on the right in the same position. So right in there. And that works together with the light up here. Now, of course, this cover kind of gets in the way a little bit of that light. Hopefully I'll be able to do a night video to show you what all the lighting looks like. So that'll be nice, because that is important, especially in the wintertime. Now you have these little compartments, and they're not locking. So you can open them up. There is a power inverter in this one. So it's not very big. It's a 150 watt, 3-prong power inverter. But it's a pretty deep pocket. You can put straps or whatever in here. And on this side, same deal. But it does not have the inverter. And it is sealed up pretty good as well. So similar to the Ridgeline, this one also has an underbed storage. So when we push this button, the vehicle does have to be unlocked. This lifts up and it goes right there, and it seals up pretty good. It should stay dry on the inside unless you intentionally put water or ice or whatever in here. It does have some drain plugs, and it's a very strong, durable material. And so there's no dividers though, so that would be neat if they were to have some kind of divider system, because things are going to slide around in this smooth, hard plastic if you put something that's kind of small back here. But this is very useful. It's just a lot more shallow than the Ridgeline, but it's still awesome to have this additional space under the bed. So this white box is 1 cubic foot. To just give you a visual reference there. And from wheel well to wheel well is right at 3 feet 6 inches. So 42 inches, 3 feet 6 inches. So you're not laying a sheet of plywood back here at all. It's definitely too narrow for that. Now, if you do need to put a sheet of plywood or something back here, it would have to be suspended on the top of each one of these wheel wells. From there, I just measured it with a tape measure, but I can't film it at the same time because it's like suspended in midair. So it's a little bit over 4 feet from that top of that to the other side, but it will be suspended and kind of like loosey-goosey in the middle there. So you're not going to be able to put sheetrock there or anything like that. It might damage it while you're driving, especially since it's just a little ledge there. So you can put like a small piece of sheetrock, or you can, a small piece of plywood, but then, it's only supported with this little tiny place right there. So it's not really feasible to put anything like a full sheet. It would have to be like a half sheet or something like that. Now, the length of the bed is 4 feet 3 inches or 51 inches to the end of the bed. With the tailgate down, it is 6 feet 2 inches or 74 inches total length from there to there. So you're limited as far as, you know, utilizing this as like it's not like a big truck or anything. So it's not like you can put a bunch of construction materials or anything like that in the bed of this truck. This is more for like if you're stopping by the, you know, the home improvement store and you're picking up a box or something like that, or you're buying something and it's in a bigger box than can fit in your car, that kind of thing. That's what this is for. So the height of the bed is around a little bit under 19 inches. But underneath the cover is going to be about 17 and a half, something like that. So you notice the handle's in the middle, so trying to reach it is kind of hard unless you get in the back of the truck. So there has this little spot right here in which you can just kind of grab it and slide it forward, and then that way you can get a hold of it. There's also a strap as well, and then we can go ahead and do that number and pull it. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it's a locking fuel door, and it locks with the vehicle. So when the vehicle's locked, it's locked. When you unlock it, it also unlocks the fuel door. And it has a fairly traditional cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap there on the inside of the door. As long as the key's inside the vehicle, you can have it in your pocket, in a bag. As long as it's inside the vehicle, starting it up, you just hold the brake and push this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now you notice the floor mat hooks in place in 2 places. Here on the driver's side, there's your accelerator and brake pedal. The accelerator pivots here at the bottom, and it has a really nice footrest here on the left side. Let's take a look under the hood. Open the hood, there is a latch a little bit to the right of center, right in here. And you move it to the left towards the center, and you lift up on the hood. So you can see there's the latch there. The hood is quite heavy, and it does require a prop to hold it up. So here's the prop on the left side, and it swings up, and you just put it right where the arrow is pointing. Underneath the hood has some insulation, and the firewall is mostly insulated. There also is some heat shielding back there as well, because the turbo is located back there. There's the battery. It's easy to get to there on the right side. And the suspension towers are supported to each other. They're braced in to the unibody structure of the vehicle. So this is a 4-cylinder engine, and it's a front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. So it's primarily a front-wheel drive vehicle, but it is all-wheel drive. It has the ability to send power to the rear wheels. And it's a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, direct injection with an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. And we'll take it down the road and see what the acceleration's like. So from what I hear, it's pretty nice. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So the power windows are here. The front two are one touch up and down. It does have the blind spot detection system, and the indicators are there on the side mirrors right there. So they'll illuminate when there's a person in your blind spot. Door lock controls are here, and then the side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. So the driver's seat is a power adjustable seat, unlike the passenger. So you can go up and down, tilt, forward and back, and then it has a two-way lumbar adjustment. So here's a view of the seat all the way back. Just another angle here, so you can see it does diminish your legroom when you do put the seat all the way back, but you have a tremendous amount of legroom in the front. I'm sitting in the driver's seat checking it out, and I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the seat all the way down, and all the way back to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. I actually feel like a toddler because there's additional space, so I can put my legs straight out. And so it's a little bit too far back. I mean, I can reach this pedal here, the footrest basically, but the other pedals, I mean, I can't really push the brake all the way down, that kind of thing. So there, if you're a little bit over 6 feet tall, you shouldn't have any problem driving this vehicle. Now it does diminish the rear seat room, so you want to keep that in mind. But you know, most people 6 feet or under should be no problem with pulling the seat up a little bit, and then you can allow somebody to sit behind you and still be comfortable and touch the pedals and everything properly. So the steering wheel, it is appears to be a leather wrapped, probably simulated leather wrapped, most likely. But look at this strong lines here on the handle. I mean, it's like some really robust bolsters there. And it does have paddle shifters on the back for that dual clutch transmission. Most of the buttons here on the right side of the steering wheel are for the cruise control. So these here, this pages button and this selection lever is for the between the gauges on the screen here. We'll show you that in just a minute. So you turn on the cruise control, you can set adjust the speed here, pause and resume as little pause buttons. So that would be, you know, you can cancel and resume your cruise control, and also your lane keep assist. You can have that on or off independently if you want to turn that on. Here on the left side is the volume for the radio. Change through the audio tracks or stations depending on what you're doing there with the up and down. Mode is the audio source. Voice recognition, your phone, so you push it to answer, push it to hang up, and then this button you can allocate certain different things. So it's an optional button that you can choose to set up and customize to go to a particular feature or screen or something like that, which is nice to have that customization. Windshield wiper controls here on the right side. Turn signals on the left, but it also has the headlight switch. So there's off, automatic, parking light, and headlight. Parking light and headlight. Now it also has the automatic high beams. So you can turn that feature on or off. When you can see right here, it'll show you when it's on. You can turn it off, on and off. All right, so check it out. It has a full digital gauge cluster. And so it simulates gauges, but it's a full digital screen. Now, there's no cover over this. So, so far it hasn't been an issue as far as glare, but that might be an issue that, you know, most gauges are recessed into the dash a little bit, so that way there's no light shining on it. And since this is a screen, you know, that might be an issue. I don't know 100% yet, but that's one thing to consider. So right now it's showing a regular speedometer. The RPM is a tachometer there on the right side. It shows the range, the fuel economy, which is skewed right now because the vehicle hasn't been out on the road or anything, hardly. Outside temperature, and then your information there in the center. So you remember this button, this pages button, and this toggle, and this OK. You push it in for OK. So when I push that, I'm going to push the pages button, and you'll see it cycle through these different icons. So this first one is showing you, that's showing you right now the attention level, showing you that when's the last time you took a break and stuff like that. Now if you scroll down, it shows your lane keep assist information there, and whether it sees the lines or anything. So that's the two things there on the first one. The second one is the driver information as far as the trip, average miles per gallon, and a timer. Now there's two of them, and you can reset these independently. You'll also find a digital speedometer here as well. Push the pages button again, take us to a setting to the settings screen, and we can go in here and set up the way everything we want. Now when we go into cluster, we can reset the fuel economy. We can have your different things that we want to display. If we want to have welcome sound, stuff like that. We can also turn on or off different assist systems here. Alright, and then last but not least is information about the vehicle. So this first one will be the tire pressure. The second one will be the all-wheel drive system, how much power is going each wheel. Like so, and then you scroll back to the first one and it basically has the first icon. My default will be right here, digital speedometer. So that's kind of a quick rundown of that particular little menu system right there, but man, these gauges look nice. Nice high clarity screen, and the brightness is good. We can adjust the brightness with the button over here. Four-way flashes are here. And so here's the touchscreen, and it has some soft touch buttons on the sides. Also, instead of a volume knob, it has a volume scroll wheel. So it's like a volume, like so. And then this one is to tune through the stations or change through the next file depending on what you're playing. If you're playing on your phone or something, it'll select the next track or whatever. Now the soft touch buttons here, you have a radio, media. So we're in the radio screen here, and it has presets. The media, you would have to have something plugged in or connected. So USB, Bluetooth, cell phone, something like that. Or Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that's another option that you can use here for playing music and accessing the system as well. But it has this little home button, and it has a split between what the radio's doing, vehicle information here, and then basic setup. You can go to all menus, and it kind of like your cell phone where it has these little icons here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, capabilities. You can do a voice memo, which is nice. The quiet mode is pretty interesting. It says when quiet mode is selected, radio media is played only in the front seats. All volume levels above 7 will be decreased to 7 automatically. So that way if you got kids in the back seat, sleeping or whatever, you can have everything a little bit quieter, so you don't accidentally, turn the radio on when the kid's sleeping, that kind of thing, and wake the baby. You don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and turn that off. And then when you go into here, you can go into a user manual, and basically it just gives you a QR code. It would be nice if you actually had the manual here on the screen. Then there's a setup. You can set everything up. You can have a Wi-Fi here as well. General setup, and this is most of the stuff you'll set up with when the vehicle is new, and then you won't have to go in here and do all that stuff. You can adjust the display, or daylight, automatic, or night. It also has a blue light filter in here as well, so you can set it up the way you want it, and it automatically turn on at a certain time at night. Like if you're coming home for work or something, kind of keeps the blue from getting in your eyes and keeping you up too late, is what the idea is anyway. And then there's another customizable button here, little star, that you can set up as well. But I like these little scroll wheels. They're not very grippy though. They're kind of slippery. So it'd be nice if they were like rubberized or something like that. They're a little bit too slippery. It's kind of like the Genesis, where they have the little scroll wheels, but they're just, you have to kind of push them really hard to, you push it really hard to scroll it, but then like you see, I just turned it off because it is a button as well as a scroll wheel. So it's kind of slippery. Be nice if it was rubberized. So the climate control is down here, and it has the driver and passenger temperatures in which you can sync here. You can unsync them simply by just moving this one or pushing the unsync button. You can see the temperatures are right in here. Fan speed, where you want the air to blow, so you can change it. You just cycle through the one and rest on the one you want. And it's all soft touch buttons. And it's really easy to accidentally push these buttons because they're right here sticking out. So just keep that in mind. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Below the climate control is a little compartment. There's a little rubberized compartment here with a divider. And then right here is a place so you can lay a cell phone, and it's a wireless charger, which is nice. And you have USB ports, charge ports, and a 12-volt power supply as well. It's cup holders, these little arms that take up the slack on most of the cups here, so it's not wobbling around on you. It's open in the middle, so you can utilize that space for more than just cups or just like a handle or whatever. Here's a shifter, and it's pretty nice and comfortable when you like get a hold of it. It's nice contour to at least my hand anyway. And let's go ahead and put it in reverse, and backup camera will pop up here. And so it has a pretty good visibility, active guidelines. So as I turn the steering wheel here, the lines will move to give you an estimated trajectory of the vehicle as you back up. And you can see from the bumper to the sky, and it's kind of stretched out a little bit. Now you can get a different view by pushing this button, and it'll give more like a top-down view, also a center position. So if you're backing up to, like, say a trailer hitch or something like that, you can have that view. You can also go into the settings directly here as well, kind of like a shortcut. Alright, there's neutral, drive, and then you can change, in addition to the paddle shifters, you can also change gears by sliding it here to the left, and you can bump it like a ratchet shifter and change through the gears on the 8-speed transmission. Next to the shifter, there's a few more buttons here. So you have the ability to lock the center differential. So this will be more for more severe off-roading. Same thing with this, is a downhill descent. It's kind of like a cruise control when you're going really slow down a hill and you want to maintain a certain, you want to keep going forward without going too fast or slipping or whatever. You can utilize that as well. You can also see the backup camera without putting it in reverse by pushing that button, and it just pops it up. So that's nice and handy. Also, it has electronic parking brake. It engages the rear wheels by lifting it up. Hold the brake pedal and then push it down to release it. And then you have a drive mode, so you can toggle through. And it's pretty cool because since this is a digital screen, you got normal, sport, smart, snow. So normal, sport looks pretty cool. And then smart would be like an eco mode. And snow would be, slippery surface basically. And normal would, self-explanatory. You just drive in normal all the time. But yeah, those sport gauges look pretty cool. Alright, and then you have heated seats here. It's a 3-stage, high, medium, and low for the driver and passenger. And so there's the armrest. It's relatively soft, and it's kind of small though, but it does have a property line stitching, so that way if you share it, you can keep them on their side. And you push this button and it releases it, and it kind of flops down a little bit, but goes up to that point. Then there's a storage compartment / junk drawer, I guess you can say. And it's just basically hard plastic on the side and a little bit of felt there on the bottom, but no connectivity or anything special in there. I don't even see a light in there. The rearview mirror is an auto dim rearview mirror, and it has the HomeLink garage door opener controls there on the bottom. And the rearview mirror is actually auto dimming right now because I have this shade over the light sensor, which is here on the right side. The blue link, roadside assistance buttons are right here. Interior lights, you can turn them on quickly, all the lights with that. You can have them on with the door or have that feature off. This button is for the sunroof. We'll get to that in just a minute. Now the visors are covered in like a vinyl type material. There's a little clip right here. Nice big mirror. And there's a light that you will have to turn on or off as a little switch. This does extend out when needed. But this vinyl material is different material than the headliner. And I like that because the vinyl is easier to clean and easier to keep up with. Since you're touching it with your hands all the time, you know, having that vinyl is a good idea. Okay, so let's look at the sunroof. So it has a shade that covers 100% of the light. You can slide it back, and we'll go ahead and tilt it, close it, and then slide it back. Push it again, it goes a little bit further back. Taking a look at the visibility in the back, it does have a small window back there. So that's a major issue as far as visibility. And there's really wide pillars as well. So it does have the sliding rear glass back there. You know, so you can open that up and let some airflow if you want. But, you know, having that small window, also those headrests, you notice how I've got one up and one down so you can see the articulation there. And when you have it up, it's, you know, it does block your visibility. So having the blind spot detection system, the backup camera, that kind of stuff kind of helps out with, you know, driving the vehicle. But, you know, all vehicles have blind spots to some degree, but this one, you know, will take some little bit of getting used to, I think. So let's take it for a spin around the block. This will not be a full comprehensive test drive and everything, but this will give you an idea of what it sounds like, what it looks like. You can definitely tell it's a dual clutch in this one because of the way it has a slight lag, but then once it connects with the gear, it's really it's really solid feeling. Like a manual transmission, once you get it in gear and release the clutch, has that feeling. There's nobody behind me right now. I'm just curious, because if you don't get that timing right. Yeah, it definitely has a really good acceleration for a 4-cylinder. It's not slow or anything like that. It actually feels better when you don't floor it. When you keep the RPMs a little bit lower, it gives a little bit more, like, more power for the RPMs. It's a really hot day, so I have the air conditioner on, so that might be interfering a little bit with the sound. Seems to isolate outside noises fairly well. I can hear the truck next to me, but it's pretty loud. So not too bad. Now, using the paddle shifters, it shows you what gear you're in here on the screen. You can downshift quite a bit. Press and hold the plus side to go back and drive. And then of course you got the ratchet shifter here. Pushing it forward downshifts, pulling it back, upshift. Or sorry, this is downshift, that's upshift. Yeah, I would say that the blind spots do need to take some getting used to. All right, so we're going 60 right now. Feels like we're going a lot slower than that. Brakes are nice and smooth. Yeah, as far as like a daily driver, I think this would be the engine to get, the 2.5 liter with the turbocharged engine, and that dual clutch is really nice. Now it feels a little funny if you're not familiar with if you're not used to a dual clutch transmission. It feels a little funny, but it sure is satisfying. You know, the shifting and the connection you have. This is very similar to a manual transmission. Now it has an all-wheel drive system, of course, but it also has an auto-leveling rear suspension. So if you got a whole bunch of stuff in the back of the truck and it's kind of pushing the back down, the system will compensate for that and raise up the suspension to keep it level. So that way you're not sagging in the back, you're not, just the back end just dropping down from putting too much cargo in the back, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's definitely when you connect with those gears, it does a good job. See what the lane keeping assist is all about. not too bad. I mean, it is a straight road, but really liking the brakes. And it feels like a light vehicle. It feels like a light, nimble, you know, zippy vehicle. You can zip around town and get through traffic easy, and it has that additional power when you need it to kind of zip through traffic or accelerate or whatever. You know, it's match with traffic when you're merging in or whatever. It is a fun to drive vehicle. I like the way it looks. I like the way it drives. Kind of helps with a dual clutch to accelerate once the shift has already happened. Once the shift has been engaged, and then you go ahead and push the accelerator, and then when it shifts, you get let off a little bit, and then you push into it as the clutch is fully engaged, and it feels like, you know, more like a manual transmission. Because you just like willy-nilly, like I was doing earlier, just kind of willy-nilly pushing the accelerator, just flooring it or whatever. It has a lot of wasted RPMs when you do that, because it's not really productive. It's not as efficient as it could be if you don't drive it properly. So there you have it. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Parkway Hyundai here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'll see you guys next time.